not sure if people were familiar with the movie Catch Me If You Can, and the whole show was the whole movie was based off a true story. I can't think of the gentleman's real name, but Tom Hanks was chasing Leonardo DiCaprio, and Leonardo DiCaprio was playing a guy who was basically a professional liar and con man, who was writing fraudulent checks and using fake uniforms to fly around the world and help launch the transatlantic airlines. And due to his ability to lie and con people, eventually he got a job with the FBI. And so we tend to demonize things that we consider negative, and as you just said, it's not a negative thing unless you make it a negative thing.
I mean, my thing is I would always attempt to do good, and you will attract good. If you attempt to do wrong, you set out to do that daily, you're going to attract wrongness. You see, and it's okay for you to do that in your own head. There will be retribution at some point. You will have to pay the piper at some point. So I'm just saying to choose well, and we have to be careful with judgment. If we are not being 100% of who we came to be, then we need to be quiet. Become the indivisible individual. If you make music, don't just be happy with doing some beats on a drum machine. Learn a little more. Learn a bit about the piano. Learn about the guitar. If you're into hip hop, maybe you should listen to a little classical and a little country and a little world music, and begin to understand music, overstand music, and understand music on another level. Whatever you're into, do as much work as you can to raise the energy level so that you'll have more options. If you're into food, learn all about food. Study nutrition. If you're eating animals, I'm not saying don't eat them. You can eat mine. I'm not eating them anymore. Learn all about where your food comes from. When you find out that the chickens and the cows and the pigs and the goats are crossbred, they're hybridized, they electrocute their testicles. Ooh. I mean, they torture them so that the meat is tenderized. They take the pigs and throw them in the fire alive. They let them run around on fire. It burns the hair off, softens the meat. And then, that energy, that testosterone, and that adrenaline helps to keep people angry and mad. Mm-hmm. So a lot of the way folks are acting is because of what they're eating, what they're ingesting. Mm-hmm. I'm saying eat what you like. Make love to who you'd like. But do a little research. Find out what you're involved in.
And I think that's one thing that's rarely looked at, or if ever looked at, is the diet of all of these police officers that are, doing all this killing and all of this brutality. Is that, look at the diet. I mean, you're eating flesh that has been brutalized and murdered, tragically, and then you go out and do the same thing. It's like they never analyze the diet. It's always, oh, it was a mistake, or I felt threatened. But it's like, wow, what's causing this mentality? And I think if they analyze the diet, they will see that 0% of them are vegetarian.
Well, maybe that you may be true. But if you got lead around your waist and a pistol with lead in it around your testicle, mm-hmm. that's going to cause anger. That lead is putting out a morphogenic field all around your genitalia. And if you look at lead toxicity, It's about anger and people making choices out of fear for their lives.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me think of again, we're talking about energy. There's a term, synesthesia,
Yes.
which is being able to hear smells or hear fragrances or see sounds. And when we start getting to these things that are actually real, I mean, this is not something that's just a concept. We really start understanding that energy is just changing form from one to the other. And for example, the C note can be attributed to a specific color, just as again as lead can be attributed to a certain energy that the body receives. And so this is something that I share in this moment so that people can look it up for themselves and understand more about the fact that energy is what you are made of and what you are going to continuously be around and ingest and listen to, and all those type of ways to interact with energy is what you ultimately become.
You see, I'm going to get deep into this when I come to Detroit. You know, on Thursday, the 23rd, I'm doing a lecture. On Friday, I'm doing a seminar. I'm going to get a little deeper. And on Saturday, all day I'll be doing a workshop. I'll be teaching the exact way. I'll be giving out the abilities so that each person can begin to change their lives. We're going to go through a whole course. It's going to be like college. We're going to talk about how to become healthy, wealthy, and wise. We're going to talk about how to break habits, how to eat like a champion, how to talk like a champion, how to communicate to people that don't even speak the same language as you, how to be a superconductor. See, a superconductor can give away all of its energy and lose none. Imagine you were a superconductor. You can go out and give away energy all day, and you don't lose any, because you are an open conduit so that the cosmos replenishes you in every second. In order to do that, we have to stop damming up God. What does that mean? There's this energy coming from the sky, the top of your head. Goes straight down your body, down your midline, through your core, shoots out through your root into the earth. Then Mother Earth sends a pulse code up through your inner body, through your core, back out to the top of your head. That's a natural flow. It's like a river, like a freeway that has two different directions. Father Sky and Mother Earth are making love inside of you. When we begin to stop this flow with all these disagreeable emotions, we dam up God, or the Most High, or whatever you want to call it, NG. This is what they call being goddamn. Damming up God.
Absolutely.
Stopping the natural flow.
Preaching real good right now.
Nature follows the path of least resistance. Are you resisting the flow of the Godhead, of Ra, that energy that comes and flows? Are you caught up in the circumference of BS? You see? Mm-hmm. Are you ready to change your circumstances? You have to circumvent your present circumstance so that you can take a new stance. And you cannot dam up the natural flow based on your ego, based on your intelligence, You feeling like you read the great book of Noah. You got a piece of Noah's Ark at your house. You see, but you don't know too much. You see, what do you know of?
I get that. Yeah.
You need to know the knowledge that is present in the universe right now. Which means silence is golden, because you're going to have to get into meditation so that this energy that is you, meditation, can talk to you. Because yourself is usually not even truly you. So by eating, by fasting, by drinking real water, figuring out who you're making love to, having a goal before you make love, knowing what are the ingredients that you're going to make love out of. When you know those things, when you live this way, when you create this path, this Tao, this philosophy, every footprint you take, every word you speak, every thought you think creates a morphogenic field, an earthquake, a universal quake, a quantum quake. Then you can walk like the masters. You can talk like the masters. You become a prophetic one because you are speaking through the Akasha. The Akasha is speaking through you. That's who we are. If you can make it, wherever you are, to Detroit,
The Mecca.
the 23rd, the 24th, the 25th, and on Sunday I'll be doing consultations all day. If you can be there, I guarantee you will never, ever be the same.
You're not lying. The 23rd of April, which is next Thursday, Doctah B Sirius will be at Nandi's Knowledge Cafe. Nandi's Knowledge Cafe. And it was actually where we broadcasted from last week. So it's kind of an interesting synergy that's been happening, drawing us. You said it right. Detroit is definitely the Mecca. And this whole area, as Brother Kojo was speaking about, there's a certain energy here that lends itself to being this space. The ether in this space just lends itself to being a catalyst for global and universal change, universal growth, and ultimately love. And we're definitely honored to have you here and to be helping facilitate the expansion of consciousness and ultimately of love and health and wellness. And I want you to.
Well, I'm honored to be here with you.
I want to give you some time to talk about. We talked about the being healthy, and we talked about the wisdom. Can you talk about being wealthy and speak on that? Let's talk to the people with the right brain, or the left brain, should it be? Left brain, just the money people. And then we know that a lot of us are tapping into both sides, and we got some conscious business people. But I want you to talk to the business people, and tell them about how this information lends itself to being wealthy as well.
3 minutes for the break.
We got about 2 minutes before break.
Okay, first of all, we all must become business people.
Ashe.
Like my grandmother used to say, mind your own business. We are all business people. How you conduct your business has a lot to do with the way you live. See, at some point, we begin to demonize the rich people because we feel like the rich people at some point are the evil ones. Not necessarily so. I know some very rich people who are dropping money and giving energy in a lot of beautiful places. A lot of the great movements that we've seen over the last 60 years were funded by people with money. You just don't know them. They don't need accolades. You see, and it takes finance to fund a movement. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of people meeting in a damp, dark, moldy room. It takes finance to have this internet. Those microphones that you guys are talking on, they cost money.
Yes, they do.
To have this station, this voice to the people, it takes a certain amount of finance. Have fine clothes, good cars, vehicles. It takes finance. It takes land. So we could grow our vegetables. We talk about eating organic. Never mind organic. Let's get our own gardens and wildcraft. You see, where we can pick what it is what we're eating, and not have to wait for it to come in a truck. To wait for it to have a stamp on it for them to tell us that it's organic. To have land is to be wealthy. To feel as if you are rich. To see your bank account or your money box being full and you doing what needs to be done and running your business well, minding your business well, will help to make you very wealthy. Some people are aware that I was in the hip-hop music industry for a long time. I was very financially wealthy.
That's right.
But I was depressed. I was powerless. I was ignorant. And I had a hairdo that was destroying my liver.
Dr. B, I hate to cut you off on the hairdo that's destroying your liver, but we got to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and talk. And the rest of the segment, the rest of the show that we have left was going to be about you coming back to Detroit and about this business mentality that we want to spread throughout our community. We're going to take a quick break and be right back with the rest of Radio.